Welcome back to what Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Panhard Lynx 6x6. It's a tier 8 French wheeled vehicle. It's located on the south spawn of Halluf and it's under the command of zoeballz. And she's in platoon with Bareface in the Progetto 46 and Papa Bareface in the T92. But Zoe is going to get team killed in this game. Not in the conventional way. No, not by being shot, but by being pushed out in front of the enemy. Just watch what happens. Okay, Zoe's moving away to a firing position, and she's going to go to one of the conventional ones where you can shoot through a bush, then pull back behind the rock after you've been seen. Okay, she's in the bush, she's looking for an enemy target, and coming up behind her is a T-44. And she's seen those enemies down the valley, and she shoots at them, pulls back, or tries to pull back, but the T-44 won't let her. So he gets very upset with this, and the T-44 shoots at her, but doesn't do any damage. Now, Bareface recognises what the hell's going on, and comes over and tries to push the T-44 to stop him from damaging Zoe. Zoe takes another shot at the enemy, gets a hit, and the T-44 goes up alongside Zoe, but Zoe goes ahead to shoot, and then the T-44 pushes Zoe down the cliff, out in front of the enemy. He doesn't do any team damage to her there, but she's now out in front of the enemy so that the enemy can shoot at her, and she's got no choice. She has to go down the cliff. She can't stay where she is. So he gets to the bottom without destroying herself, shoots at this black dog, and yes. Well, that wouldn't have happened if she hadn't been pushed down the cliff in the first place by the T-44. And the T-92, who's on Zoe's platoon, says he's now going to report the T-44 for pushing Zoe out, and Zoe says it as well. And the T-44 says, what happens now? Well, yeah, there's going to be a replay and a ban, and you're going to be on video. And everyone will know that you trolled Zoe by pushing her out in front of the enemy fire. So unfortunately Zoe's now dead, and they've lost one. And yeah, Zoe's saying welcome to YouTube. Well, don't need to be rude to him, but she is saying that. But yes, you are going to be on YouTube, because people will now know that the T-44 player, Darkreaper167, is a troll. And so if you come across this player in the game, he's the sort of person who will push you out in front of the enemy. If you happen to see him and he's on the enemy team, then do feel free to fire at him as much as you like. Do as much damage to him as is possible, so that his game is absolutely miserable. He's brought it on himself because he wants to kill his teammates. There was absolutely no justification for him pushing Zoe down that cliff, and as a result, it looks like they're going to lose the game now, because they've 5 tanks down on the enemy. And despite the fact that Papa Bareface is doing a good spotting job in the middle, as well as that LT-432, I don't think they're going to be able to get enough spotting to help their teammates, because the enemy are now flooding into their cap area. They've won in the northwest corner, and they're going to try and take on this SU-130PM, but unfortunately he does have rather a lot of health, and with their very small guns they're not really going to be able to make a lot of inroads into his health. Well, I think Papa Bareface has suddenly realised the enemy is about to enter their cap area. He's trying to get away to a position where he can actually get shots on the enemy without being killed. Oh no, just got massively hit by that TS5. Well, only 4 tanks down on the enemy now. That's slightly better. But that's going to change very shortly because we're about to lose our Arty. Yes, we've just lost the school bus. There's only 1 tank guarding the cap area basically. That's the UDES 03. And I don't think he's going to be alive for very much longer. He's only got 23 hit points. There is a T-28 prototype at the bottom of the hill, but I'm not sure there's much he can do either. And the enemy is now capping. So despite the fact that we've got 2 tanks on the enemy side of the map, 3 tanks, sorry, because we've got the AMX-50-100 and the LT-432, this game is basically over. It's a loss. Only 4 tanks left. 6 tank difference. I don't think there's any chance of them coming back from that. So, this game was a loss because of the pushing out of zoeballz. If she hadn't been pushed down the cliff and died by crashing, then I think that they might have stood a chance at trying to make inroads into the enemy area. They might have been able to get a group of tanks into their enemy cap, enough to at least put some pressure on the enemy. But of course they never got the chance to try that out. And, well, Papa Bearface is now all alone. And despite the fact that the enemy is still capping, I'm not sure he's going to be alone for very long. Oh, he did manage to get the ISC-152. So the enemy is going to cap out. He's going to survive. Yep, they've capped out. So he does. He's the only survivor. And, yep, that was the loss because Zoe was team killed. So let's have a look at the end of battle stats. And yeah, you can see that Zoe did get some damage on the enemy for the brief couple of shots that she managed to fire off before she was killed. She managed to get a hit on the LT-432, and she did shoot the black dog before she crashed, but she wouldn't have been put into a position where she did crash were it not for that T-44 who managed to push her over the edge. And there he is, Darkreaper167, the one T-44. He only did 209 hit points of damage himself, which is less than Zoe did. And no kills and 136 base XP for turning up. So yeah, this is the cause of the problem. This guy trolled Zoe. There was absolutely no justification for him to push Zoe over the cliff edge. And if Zoe had actually died from being pushed over the cliff edge, then obviously he would have been a team killer. And I'm not sure if the system would have recorded it as such, but it certainly should have, because his action was directly responsible for Zoe being placed in a position where she did die in the end. She wouldn't have chosen to go down the cliff the way she did. She would have tried to shoot from the position she was in to try and hold the enemy back, and potentially then joined Papa Bearface on his assault on the enemy cap area to try and relieve some of the pressure on the other side of the battlefield, but it just didn't work out that way. So this is a troll, and now he's going to find out that he is identified as a troll on YouTube, and other people will know that this is a troll account. If you see this person in battle, do send as much HE and as many shells as you can in his direction, so he realises that there's a price to be paid for trolling other players. Yep, you end up as public enemy number 1, and everyone wants you dead, out of the game, rid of, because you are a nuisance. You're likely to cause a loss for the team rather than a win. Thanks for watching.